Hello, my name is Martin and this is Zoltan. We are the creators of Runes of Mayhem. In this video we will present you our card game.
Runes of Mayhem is a tactical card game for two, based on the wars fought between the Vikings and the Anglo-saxons.
Both players have a unique deck. As you can see apart the cards, our game includes tokens and dice too.
Two decks differ from each other. Both offers a unique playing experience and requires different strategies to play.
The aim of the game is to destroy your opponent's fortress by sieging it. Let's see how the units fight and how to siege your opponent. Each and every unit has an attack and a health point. Furthermore, on the cards you can see their price, their abilities, and their type. When two units battle, they damage each other's health with their attack points.
If the cost damage is equal or exceeds the health of the attacked unit, then the unit falls and you tilt it. At the end of the turn, all wounded units regain their full health.
However, to make the fights more exciting and realistic, the power of the units are not fixed.
During a fight you have to add a rolled value of one die to the base points. With a die you can roll 0, 1, 2 or 3. It is not certain that you gain bonus points, and the lucky roll of your opponent can cross your plans.
Our playing surface, the battlefield, is made up of 3 lanes, and both players have 2 rows to place their units into. So there can be 6 basic units per player on the battlefield. In the 3rd row, you can only play special units. During a battle, units can only attack within their own lane. First, those units collide that are in the 1st row. In case the 1st unit falls, then you can fight with the units behind it. We mark the fallen units by tilting them. We are not removing them yet, because they still have some effects on the game. If a unit survives a fight, it can continue to attack as long as it is alive. However, the attacking player can choose not to attack at any given time. The only exception to this rule is when you defeat a supported card. If a unit has another behind it, then it is supported. You must immediately attack the second supporting unit with your surviving unit from the last battle. If there are no alive enemy units in a lane, then you can attack the fortress.
You have to pay a close attention to the type of your units. Sending your units against the wrong type can make you suffer penalty.
Penalty means that you cannot roll a die in a fight. With careful tactics, you can perform safe attacks.
The cavalry units suffer combat penalty against the spearmen. The spearmen suffer penalty fighting against melee units, and melee units suffer penalty against cavalry units.
The right placement of these basic type of units are not only essential due to the penalty rule, but because 3 of a kind in a row can create powerful formations. The melee units can form a defensive shield wall, while the spearmen can enter a good all-around formation.
And cavalry units can trample the enemy with a brutal charge.
There are several other types of units.
But first, let's see how to play cards.
In the game, there are 2 different types of resource, fate and gold. Both players have production cards. On these, they divide 7 production markers, and their dispersion can be changed every turn. So, at the beginning of every turn, the players receive the identical type and amount of resource as they have set their production markers.
To play a card, simply select one from your hand and pay its cost, both in gold and fate.
You can play cards onto the wall of the fortress too. There can be only up to 2 cards on it.
The units on the wall cannot be attacked, and they protect your fortress from the incoming damage. Placing cards there is a good opportunity to protect both your units and your fortress.
But don't forget though that they cannot attack from there, and their abilities do not work either. But it still is a good tactical choice.
Now that we know how the battle works and what options we have, let's inspect how a turn works. First we gain our resource, then fight, and after we play cards. At the end of the turn, draw your hand back to the limit.
During the combat phase, before attacking, you can freely regroup all your units to start the fight with an optimal position.
Do not forget that before drawing your hand back to the limit, you can freely reorganize all your production markers and optionally discard one card from your hand.
For a better understanding, see us play a few turns.
At the beginning of the game, we choose a king. Your king defines the structure points of your fortress. Furthermore, they grant you a special ability throughout the game. My king increases my hand limit from 5 to 6. Zoltan's grants him one more production marker, so he will get to have 8 instead of 7. We draw our hands to the limit. I draw 6 and Zoltan draws 5 cards. Now the Viking player starts the game. As a compensation, the Anglo-Saxon player receives 3 bonus gold tokens. At the beginning of my turn, I receive resources according to my set production markers. I get 5 gold tokens and 2 fate tokens. Now I can place cards. As you see, I've drawn 1 spearman, 1 melee, 1 priest and 3 horseman cards. Let's play. I place this scouts unit here at the red lane. I pay 2 gold tokens for it. I put this spearman to the green lane. I pay for the price too. Now I have to use my fate tokens. At the end of the turn, you can optionally discard 1 card from your hand. It is a tactical choice. I discard this unit, then I draw my hand back to the limit. Zoltan's turn begins. He receives resources according to a dispersion of his production markers. Now he can play cards. He places 2 units into the fortress. They can't attack from here and their abilities don't work. Cards here decrease the incoming damage of every single attack to the fortress by their quantity. He chooses not to discard, then he draws his hand back. It is my turn. I receive my gold tokens and my fate tokens. I will attack his fortress with my scouts. This card can freely go in and damage the fortress, since there are no units in the opposing lane. Let's roll. I rolled 1, so I'm attacking the fortress with 4 points. His 2 cards in the fortress decreases the damage he suffers to only 2 points. I do the same attack with my other card too. I rolled 0, so his fortress suffers only 1 point of damage. I place a card into the second row to support the spearman. I pay its price. Then I place this priest unit behind them. You can only place heroes and priests into the third special row. During a burial step, so when you remove the fallen units, priests can save other dead cards. Their level shows the amount of units they can save. When a priest saves a unit, you turn the save cards back and you remove the priest instead. I reorganize my production markers. I move 1 marker from gold to fate, so I will produce 3 fate tokens next turn. Zoltan receives his resources. Now he will move his units out of his fortress. You can freely rearrange the placement of all your cards before battling. He attacks my scouts with his spearman. My unit suffers penalty, so only he gets to roll a die.
he causes 3 points of damage in total. The spearman unit receives 3 points of damage. Since the opposing lane is empty now, he can attack my fortress. He rolled 1 again, so he causes 3 points of damage to my fortress. Since the yellow lane is empty too, he can attack my fortress. He rolled 2, so he causes 5 points of damage. The battle step ends, we have to remove the fallen cards. In exchange for my Odin sacrifice unit, I save my scouts. He plays a long-range unit. When you play a long-range unit, it can execute an immediate attack anywhere, even at other lanes, at the units inside the fortress, or at the fortress itself. In this case, he shoots at my scouts. He caused 3 points of damage to my scouts, so my unit has fallen.
The long-range units can only shoot once per turn, we mark the ones that did.
Now he can play cards. He places all his production markers on gold because he has plenty of fate tokens now. He draws his hand back to the limit. We remove all status marking tokens at the end of the turn. It is my turn now. I can reorder all my units. I will try to defeat his archers. I attack with my armored spearman. Both units are of the same type, so both of us can roll a die. I've defeated his spearmen, but I suffered 3 points of damage. Since the spearmen were protected by the archers, I must fight them too. Long-range units can't roll when being attacked. Both units fall in the battle. Now I can freely go in and attack his fortress. I cause 4 points of damage. We remove the fallen cards. Now I am placing cards. In this lane, because of the unit types, he cannot make my spearmen suffer penalty. I place archers too. I choose to shoot at his unit inside his fortress. Unlucky roll, I only caused 3 points of damage, so his spearman survives. I discard 1 card from my hand and I draw it back to the limit. Now it is Zoltan's turn. He reorders his units. He attacks my fortress with 3 points of damage. Now he is playing cards. He plays 3 cavalry units in a row, creating a formation.
In formation, when attacking, all these units gain 2 bonus attack points.
As you've seen, tactics and timing are essential parts of our game.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope you liked our video and got you interested in Runes of Mayhem. Have fun playing and see you on the field of battle.
Runes of Mayhem.